No point weighing. Excuse me, Station Master, but I need you again.
Can't you see I am very, very busy?
No.
Well, I am. Very busy indeed. But, okay, I think I can give you a minute of my time.
I've just been to see the rectors.
Yes,
and
sirree.
The name Hans Varl. The sailors on the barge reckon they could help me tow my train out of here, but they're asking for money. You couldn't possibly help me out with a few dollars, could you? I would be very grateful.
Miss, really, I'm surprised at you. Asking for money from a total stranger. Oh.
Right. I need cash. I need it to get my train out of your station because my train is getting in your way, disturbing your birds, and upsetting your bosses.
Look, lady, I'm only a station master. I got my problems and you got yours. Welcome to Barrockstadt.
Hey there!
Good.
I just met with the university rectors, and they ordered me to remove my train out of their station. I mean, it's a total joke! How do you remove a train that can't move in the first place? You don't have any ideas, do you?
We know nothing of train. You up your own creek.
Your generosity warms my heart. I have a little problem. I hope my train isn't...
Tis okay. Motorboat eerste klasse.
My husband say correct.
I mean, we're not exactly very far from the winding machine, are we? It's dumb, isn't it, all this effort to go a few yards?
Put train in barge? Nee, not possible.
I'll leave you to it. Hello.
Shh, don't talk so loud.
I'm sorry, but I was wondering if you could help me.
Can't you see I'm very busy?
What are you looking for?
None of your business. Now, if you don't mind, I am trying to concentrate. I haven't got a lot of time left before Professor Pons's next tutorial.
Professor Pons, you say?
Would you mind working elsewhere, please?
I would have loved to study at a university like this.
No age is too old to start learning, my dear.
Maybe, but you know, the eternal student and all.
You prefer being an eternal lawyer?
I have more important things to deal with. Live problems, not things that died millions of years ago.
Everyone has their own priorities, my child.
I'll leave you...
Sorry?
No point. Olivia, it's Kate.
Yeah! What? I'm not getting the call.
Olivia, I can't hear you. Speak up.
Well, can you please repeat what were you just saying? But I'm not getting anything, nothing.
I'm hanging up, Olivia. The line's too bad. I'll call you later, okay? Are you sure you want me to mend your bandstand? You don't have some other service I could perform for you that is less complicated?
It appears to me that you are in no position to make demands, miss. So please, keep up with the good work and good luck.
Don't think for a moment that our university is falling apart around our ears. We pay close attention to its maintenance in both the moral and the physical sense of the word.
It is currently the only repair work that deserves payment on completion.
What?
I'm looking.
Look, late.
Funny you.
Sauvignon, raspberries, red currants.
But you see, I have just read a very interesting book which says that the rare Sauvignon berry is actually cultivated here in the.
Well, if it's in a book, then don't believe everything you read.
I don't know why, but I don't think.
What do you mean? I don't know. How should I know where to find your stupid grape? Go ask your professor, what's his name, Pons, the paleontologist.
But you're the master of this station, so you should know better than anyone.
Nobody tells me anything. I don't know. Go see the old guy with the fossils.
I'm looking for a kind of little juicy berry. You don't know where I.
Look, lady, the station doesn't have any Sauvignon berries, not even forest Sauvignon.
Funny you should mention it. That's exactly what I was looking for. Forest.
Sauvignon.
You wouldn't know where the forest Sauvignon plants are kept in Barkstadt, would you?
Why do you think there are Sauvignon plants here?
I read about it in a book at the library.
Try going to see the station master. If such a shrub exists, he will have a better idea than anyone.
It's actually he who sent me to you. I thought it a little strange, but he definitely said ask the paleontologist. You're the only one here, aren't you?
Yes indeed. What a strange way to behave. Well, I think he must have made a mistake, that's all. Nobody tells me anything here. Maybe you should ask the rectors. After all, they are in charge of the university.
All right,
They are
thanks.
kept to.
Nor
Are you sure there are no Amazon Sauvignon plants in Barkstadt? Because I have just interviewed the station master and the paleontologist, and what they said really didn't convince me that there wasn't any here.
we are quite definite on this point. There are no Sauvignon plants growing in Barkstadt.
You see, miss, the Amazon Forest Sauvignon is a rare shrub that requires very special conditions for growth.
That's right. Conditions that are very hard to reproduce, believe you me.
Difficult, but not impossible. Fortunately, our garden has proved very successful.
Your garden? So, there is a garden in Barkstadt?
Oh, the garden. Well, if there was one, it would be only a little garden hidden behind the station. But our station master would be very proud of it.
He would take very good care of it, too. Everything would grow marvelously if we were able to cultivate it at all, and it would be all down to his gardening prowess.
And we would be proud as punch. And we wouldn't forget the role the paleontologist might play in this.
What's the paleontologist got to do with it all?
Without him and without his laboratory, how would we make the wine, do you think?
And it would be good wine indeed, my dear colleagues, would it not?
Oh, yes, a delightful balm to soothe away our long hours of toil and our heavy responsibilities.
We would wait impatiently every year for the arrival of the year's produce.
So, if I have understood you correctly, there are indeed Sauvignon plants in Barkstadt. They are cultivated in a garden behind the station, then turned into wine by the paleontologist's loving care, and finally, the pleasure of tasting is yours. If I'm not very much mistaken, gentlemen, you have a minor racket operating here.
Miss, you do go jumping to some hasty conclusions.
We never said that. That's not what we said at all.
We were talking in the conditional, you know, with ifs and woulds.
So, what would happen if I had such a hunch?
You would have to keep it to yourself, of course.
Yes, if you would be so kind as to keep it a secret. It would only be a small local concern producing barely a few bottles every year.
That's right. Nothing so grandiose as a business. Otherwise, we'd be liable to be fined. So we can't count on your discretion, can't we?
Don't worry, I have no intention at all of getting messed up in anything. If I were to need Sauvignon grapes, I could presumably find them in the garden, couldn't I?
If Sauvignon were to be found here, it would doubtless be situated in the said location.
But the station master would have to let you in. He would be the only one with the key.
Yes, if that indeed was the case, that would be the correct procedure.
If I were to need Sauvignon Gray... Excuse me, Station Master, but I need you again.
Can't you see I am very, very busy?
No.
Well, I am. Very busy indeed. But, okay, I think I can give you a minute of my time.
You have been playing with me, haven't you? You knew very well there were forest Sauvignon berries in the station garden.
No, not at all. I've never seen your Sauvignon things.
You don't have to lie to me. I know all about it. You and the rectors are in cahoots, and the professor's lab has been turned into a distillery. You've all got a nice little smuggling racket on the side.
Smuggling racket? Hey, lady, you're going a bit far there. It's just a little on-the-side thing we got going, that's all. It's just for ourselves. Hey, you're honest.
You should be ashamed of yourselves. Aren't you worried about the reputation of this fine university? The authorities should be informed of this.
But we haven't done anything wrong. It's not a crime.
Can you open the gate to the garden, please?
Sure. No problemo. Right away, miss. There you are. Please feel free to visit the garden at your leisure. And there was just one thing. I'm not a liar. Not really. Just mum's the word. There is the reputation of the university to think about, and I have superiors, and I have to do what I can.
I understand. Don't you worry.
Thank you, miss.
I don't need that for the time. Impossible to reach it.
Hey, miss, please, excuse me.
Yes?
You know, I want to apologize for our little misunderstanding. I brought you a bottle of wine. Barakstadt Sauvignon. Very good year. Let me know what you think.
I'm very touched. Thank you.
Good luck on your journey, lady.
Thank you. I don't think you've been telling me the entire truth, Mr. Station Master.
Now, wait a second. I never really intended... You have to believe me. I can see I can't pull the wool over your eyes. You're pretty sharp.
Or you're just not very good at lying.
I'll never do it again. Promise.
Can you possibly help?
Miss, you're
We cannot come.
If you don't mind, could you not
It's not very polite of you to take advantage of my predicament. We could have done favors for each other, for free, out of solidarity.
Father, Allah speak not full. Money, ja, muy full.
Excuse me?
My husband say need money for live. $100 not lot for fancy lady like you.
How would you know a fancy lady like me, really? Do excuse me, Professor. Professor, sorry to disturb you again. Professor, I have brought you something that should be of interest to you. Look.
What have you got there, then? Let's see. An effigy of a mammoth. But this is Hans' doll, is it not? Yes, of course it is. How on earth did you... Oh, my God. It's in my hands. It exists. It really exists. Please do excuse me. I'm deeply, deeply moved.
You see? Your Hans and my Vorarlberg heir are one and the same.
This is incredible. After all these years, how can I ever thank you, my dear? Oh, I must waste no time. I'm off to my laboratory. I must study this carefully. May I borrow your treasure a moment?
Well, actually,
Don't worry, miss. I will take the greatest care of it. But I need to study it. You see, it has such importance to me that this very afternoon I shall deliver an impromptu lecture to my students about this very object. If you are interested in Hans Vorarlberg, then it is essential that you attend.
Do you think so?
Obviously. Give me your telephone number and I will call you the moment my lecture begins. I will return you your doll at the end. You have my word.
I don't need that for the...
What is it you want to know, miss?
What would you say about... You told me earlier about a lecture on some ancient Siberian tribe called the Ooks or something?
The Yukals, my dear. Careful not to confuse them with the Ukistran people of Central Asia.
Do excuse me. I wanted to know if your lecture is going to start soon.
Your eagerness to learn delights me, my dear. But I haven't finished studying this marvelous mammoth effigy yet. Don't worry, I will call you. And see you later.
Hans, I have some very sad news. Our father is dead. He passed away peacefully last Sunday in his sleep. I feel so lonely now.
Father had been but a shadow of himself since your departure. I had to take care of everything for him. Housework, factory paperwork, the workforce, clients, everything. And now, today, well, I really don't know who or what I'm fighting for. Times are so hard, and this terrible war is destroying everything. Nobody cares for our automatons anymore. I just think about you returning. And when you do return, I will have turned this factory into a palace worthy of your genius. Please take care of yourself. I love you so much, Anna.
Gentlemen, I have managed to repair your university bandstand.
The bandstand is playing again. This is marvelous news.
We are really very grateful indeed.
Yes, very grateful indeed. We will look back on your visit with much fondness in our hearts.
And now let us in turn honor our word. How much is it you need, miss?
$100, if it's not too much to ask.
We agree to grant you the aforementioned sum, miss. You may now leave with your train.
And while we're on the subject, when will you be leaving?
Yes, because now you should relocate your train as quickly as possible.
May I call once more upon your generosity? There's still some money I need.
What? Hand out money like that without any valid pretext? You are singularly lacking in common sense, miss.
You certainly know how to fritter away other people's money, don't you?
Your behavior is becoming quite unbecoming.
But isn't there some other service I can perform for you?
There's nothing we can do for you, young lady. We have no other choice.
We have to watch our university's expenditure. Its resources are not bottomless, you know.
And our philanthropy, too, has its limits. My word!
There you go. Here's your money. I've checked it. It's all there.
Ah, thank you. Not difficult get dollar, see? You are a real businesswoman.
I'm not the only one around here.
We pleased to do deal with you. Now, you open lock or we no help you.
Why didn't you manage to open them? After all, you don't have to be a genius.
Ma vorvat pensiero esto, di kleine madam. No se sai mar alles non comprendo, en allora kaput en andere bordel. Zirs war moi. On boom telefonieren, kaput.
My husband say instructions complicated. No understand manual. My husband angry. Very angry. Oh, now telephone broke. Kaput.
Now that is annoying. What are you going to do next?
We wait repairman.
Well, I don't have the time to wait. I'll have to go have a look. There must be some way of releasing the opening mechanism.
Take key. Sailor always need key for lock.
Okay, thanks. Hello?
Kay, how's my little baby girl? I was thinking about you only yesterday because I saw this fantastic fur coat. You are wrapping up warm, aren't you? I mean, people in foreign countries never know how to dress properly for the weather.
Mom, it's so sweet of you to worry, but I'm fine, really. The trip's a breeze, no worries. I mean, there's...
Well, when are you coming back? Frank is dying to meet you.
Frank? Oh, yeah, your singer. You two seeing each other then?
Oh, you'll never guess the surprise he gave me yesterday.
No, I suppose I won't.
Frank invited me to a big charity show organized by, someone or another. Anyway, they got him singing a couple of old numbers from his repertoire, and in the end, he asked me to go up on stage with him. Can you imagine me, your mother, on stage in front of thousands of people?
Wow, I would have loved to have been there. Not too emotional, I hope.
Oh, too emotional by far, especially as I hadn't even been to the hairdresser. Well, I didn't even have the proper dress on. But Frank promised me he'd see to that next time. Oh, he's such a cutie, and he's got the sweetest little...
I'm sure he has, Mom.
It would be so good if you could join us one day. Let's see, when is his next gala? I'm so forgetful these days. I swear I'd lose my head if it weren't in the clouds. You just watch out, my girl. Them years will catch up with you much quicker than you think.
I'll look out for them, Ma. Nice to hear your voice. Lots of love.
Well, to you too, my little munchkin.
The instructions are written in a language I don't... I don't need to use this. That looks... Can you explain to me how the locks in the...
A lock, right, is a system of sealed gates. They're clever, right? They help boats overcome gradient problems in channeled water flows. They make this kind of boat staircase, see? You know what I like? Sitting on the bank, watching the barges...
I'm sorry. I must have expressed myself badly. I need to know how the locks open and close, to vary the water levels.
I'm not sure of the precise maneuver. Trains and barges, trains, now, those guys are very different fellows, all right.
I won't disturb you.
Welcome to...
Right, I've got it. I know now how the locks work. So guide your boat into the lock, and I'll take care of the mechanism.
Godverdomme. Das ist eine echte Ladies. Alle trois, range alle Dingen and obligados de dame. Ach, set content und zurück again.
What did your husband say?
You, hurry up. We hurry to travel again.
Okay. We'll meet each other on the other side. By my train, okay? don't need to do that.
Hey there! Barge on other side. You still need us?
There. Your barge is over the locks now. It's up to you to keep your part of the bargain.
Yes, beloved Frau. Attach loco.
My husband say, return to train, attach chain, then barge will pull.
Okay, I'll get moving.
До свидания.
What do we do now to tie my train to the barge?
Mademoiselle Tak, loco coco mitchen.
What did your husband say?
You attach chain to train and chain put train with barge.
Hop, catch it up.
If that's going to work, it looks like something's missing. Hello, Kate Walker here.
Miss Walker, this is Professor Ponce. I'm about to start my lecture on the Yukols at any moment. Please make haste to come.
Okay, I'll give it my best.
Excellent. We'll be in the main lecture hall. See you soon.
Hello?
Where are you?
Hi, Dan. I'm in Barrackstadt.
What? Is that a town? I hope the man you're looking for lives there. Are you coming home soon?
From what I gather, it's one huge university with an extraordinary station aviary. If you could only see it, there are trees and birds everywhere. It's so weird here.
Sounds like a great place for a bit of sightseeing. So, are you coming back soon?
I don't think so. In fact, the train I'm traveling on has some kind of a mechanical problem. We've been forced to stop here.
Us? I thought you were alone. Who's with you?
Oscar, the train engineer.
You're messing around with mechanics now, are you?
Don't be so stupid, Dan, please. Oscar's an automaton created by Mr. Varlberg, the man I'm looking for. And he's not any old robot. He's a sophisticated butler type, if you see what I mean. He's a bit obsessive as well.
Kate, I don't know what they're feeding you in Europe, but don't you think it's time that you came home?
But my mission still isn't finished.
To hell with your mission. I don't know why you accepted it in the first place. If you just stuck to the middle of the road, then we wouldn't be in this mess.
We? If there's any mess, it's me who's in it. And while I'm trying to come to grips with strange towns, you, my darling, are sitting at home on your butt. I seem to remember we had nothing against my departure.
It was only going to be 2 or 3 days, Kate. Please, try to put yourself in my shoes.
Your shoes. Not only do I have to fit myself into your diary, but I've got to get myself into your shoes as well? Is there anywhere else Sir would like me to put myself while we're on this subject?
Look, I don't want to talk about it now. Call me back when you've calmed down.
I was perfectly calm before I picked up your call. I only wanted a few words of encouragement, not your disdain. Was that too much to ask?
You can be such a selfish...
Takes one to know one, sweetheart.
Ah, there you are, Miss Walker. Good, good. Take a seat quickly. I'm impatient to start my lesson. My young friends, a very exciting discovery, unimaginable up until only a few hours ago, has come into my hands and has finally allowed me to complete my study on the mysterious Yukol people. Lights, please. The Yukols are a people from the far north about whom very little is known. They live far away, very far away, on the frozen borders of Syberia. This distance and the climatic conditions of the region, which are unfavorable to human existence, have limited the size of the Yukol population and kept it out of reach of the scientific world. The handful of slides that follow are actually the only documentation we have in our possession. It was a Russian explorer who made these drawings and took these photographs 100 or so years ago. Today, we owe what we know about the Yukol people and their culture to him. We know that the origins of the Yukols date back to the last ice age. Curiously, evidence of their presence has been found in Western Europe, and more precisely in the prehistoric caves at the heart of the Alps. This people, it seems, undertook a long migration over centuries towards the far north of the globe. The reasons for this migration are due to the importance of the mammoth in their craft, trade, and culture. They used them for transportation and as beasts of burden. The mammoth brought them meat, skins, fat, and ivory. Man and animal lived in symbiosis. There's no doubt about it. Mammoths started to drift away from the region due to changing climatic conditions, and the Yukols followed them to the north, to the edges of Syberia. Prehistoric cave drawings, identified as Yukol in origin, first led me to the extraordinary hypothesis that the Yukols had managed to domesticate the mammoth. They are, to the best of our knowledge, the only prehistoric people to represent a man riding a mammoth. Today, because of this genuine mammoth skin effigy, identified by myself as an authentic Neolithic object, I can confirm this hypothesis. Yukol forebears managed to tame mammoths. Prehistoric man uses little imagination. He draws what he sees and represents scenes from real life. This familiar day-to-day object is actually a children's toy. As we have seen, Yukol existence was inextricably linked to that of the mammoth. They used its skin for clothing and to make the roofs and walls of their houses. They used the tusks to build the frameworks of their homes, as well as weapons, tools, and jewelry. Curiously, the disappearance of the mammoth 12,000 years ago had no immediate effect on the Yukol's way of life. It seemed that for a long time after, the people maintained their strong bond with the mammoth through the centuries. As incredible as it may seem, the Yukol people have continued right up until the start of this century to feed themselves on mammoth meat and to use the skin for clothing and shelter. Their ivory craftwork industry is still flourishing. It would appear that to preserve ancestral customs, the Yukols learned how to exploit through the centuries the large number of frozen mammoth carcasses that were perfectly preserved in the ice of the Siberian tundra. They have been able to live mainly off this enormous freezer stock for almost 30 centuries. As plausible as this explanation may seem, it seems it is not enough for the scientific community who, I will confess, is greatly perplexed by the question. In the absence of acceptable scientific evidence, we have to make do with Yukol shaman artifacts. The research department that I have the honor to represent today lends no credence to the myths and legends that these tribal charlatans peddle. We have to take their stories at face value, mere tales to while away the long Siberian winter. The legend of the Siberian ice ark is a very good example, and you are invited to find out for yourselves from the pamphlet that I had passed around to you. This legend would have us believe that today, somewhere on a lost island to the north of Syberia, there are living mammoths still in existence, a sort of hangover from the Ice Age. This small herd has been miraculously preserved for more than 120 centuries by the Yukol's tender care. And the island on which the pachyderms are said to live is called Syberia. My friends, I advise you to resist the temptation you may have to believe in this pish and tish. The island of Syberia is not charted on any map, and the idea that mammoths have survived to the 21st century is an idle scientist's pipe dream. The Yukols were sadly among the first victims of the colonization of continental Siberia led by the Russians in the 20th century. The Kolkhoz and Sovkhoz systems, as well as the exploitation, disdain, and humiliation people had to suffer, marked a definitive break in the Yukol's traditional lifestyle. Since the collapse of the communist regime, the Yukol population finds itself confronted with the same political and social upheavals that other Siberian communities are experiencing. There are two consequences to arise from this. Some Yukols have lost their tribal identity and have integrated into the Russian population. Others, however, have sought long and hard to re-establish links with their ancestral culture that was lost under the Soviet regime. Now, at the start of the 21st century, the last true surviving Yukols have gone to live on the vast territories of their ancestors. Nobody knows today where they live or how they survive. Their very existence would be a matter for speculation if they did not turn up periodically at the tundra's most isolated fur trading posts to exchange mammoth tusks for essential items. There ends my lecture for today. Thank you for being among us today, Miss Walker. Please make your way to the laboratory where you will find your mammoth doll. There are also photocopies of my lectures should you so require them.
No point. I must congratulate you for your lecture. You were right. The subject is absolutely fascinating. I never believed that mammoths could be so interesting.
What you heard was only the tip of the iceberg, my dear. But if I have at least awoken a passion in you, I'm only too proud.
Did Hans Vorarlberg agree with your hypothesis on the Yukols being able to tame mammoths?
Now, Hans was no man of science. His pathological obsession was to find mammoths that were still in existence. Such a hypothesis is somewhat overblown, don't you think?
You don't believe in it yourself?
Mammoths died out thousands of years ago. Of this we are certain. Today, the only mammoths in Syberia are frozen ones.
Do you know where Hans might have gone after his stay here in Barrackstadt?
No, but I would not be surprised if he left in search of the Yukols. Or what is left of them today.
What would you say about I want to express my gratitude. Thanks to you, I can carry on my journey.
We would also like to thank you for repairing our bandstand.
It was beyond all hope.
Allow us to wish you good luck, and see you next year at enrollment time, perhaps.
I doubt it, but thanks anyway. I've got it. I found a winding machine. Down over there, along the track.
A winding machine? I knew that strange gizmo had something to do with trains. How does it work then?
I was going to ask you the same question.
Miss, I only feed the birds and water the plants. Mechanical stuff's just...
Everything okay?
Yes, Kate Walker. I am waiting to continue our journey.
I'm off, Oscar. See you later. Oscar, if you tell me one more time something's missing, I'll...
Everything is ready. Take your seat, Kate Walker. We are leaving.
I'll... Okay... I wonder how that works. What are you doing there, Oscar?
It is imperative that we comply with railroad and customs regulations, Kate Walker.
Oscar, don't you think we could drop the trifling details once and for all?
We need an exit visa to get beyond the wall, Kate Walker.
And you wouldn't know where I could get one of them from, would you?
There is usually some form of authority stationed at a guard post that is strategically positioned to issue such a visa.
Oscar, don't you think we've wasted enough time already?
You neglected to find the clockwork winding mechanism for the train with sufficient haste, Kate Walker.
What nerve! And you refused to lend a helping hand. Help that could have been invaluable to me.
I agree, Kate Walker.
If you weren't so obsessed by procedure, we wouldn't have had a hitch.
I am not entirely convinced, Kate Walker.
Oscar, please, let's get in the train and leave.
Yes, Kate Walker. Give me the visa.
I don't suppose you can help me get this visa then?
Your non-supposition is correct, Kate Walker.
Okay, see you later, Oscar.
Yes, Kate Walker.
No point. Hello?
Kate! Oh, is that you? What's going on?
Well, I finally got the mechanical train wound, and I hope it's going to take me to Hans Vorarlberg. I had to sort things out with a couple of weirdo sailors, and they probably ripped me off. But now I'm blocked behind this massive wall. You should see it, it's huge.
I'm not talking about that. I want to know what's going on with Dan.
What do you mean?
I bumped into him at Maggie's do, and he said you'd argued.
That's a bit over the top. Things got a bit heated the last time we called, that's all. No need to go overboard.
I don't mean to be Miss Melodramatic, but he didn't seem in such great shape. He had his down-in-the-dumps head on.
Like Dan has a down-in-the-dumps head.
Well, yeah, when that shock of hair flops over his forehead and his eyes mist up and his eyebrows kind of creased together.
I'd never noticed. Maybe I did go a bit too far, but he's got such a goody-two-shoes image of me that sometimes I just lose it. and this case is taking up a lot of headspace. I was just looking for a bit of compassion.
Well, you sure got mine. So, what's going down?
Like I said before, I'm kind of getting somewhere, but it's slow. This Hans Vorarlberg guy is getting more and more fascinating by the day.
Okay, well, anyway, it doesn't sound like you're bored. Not like back here in the office. Every day is boredom day. It's just no fun without you. When are you coming back?
Shouldn't be long, I hope. Look, I've got to go. See you soon.
Well, call us again real soon. And be easier on Dan next time, huh?
I'll try. Look, broken glasses. If they belong to the captain, then he sure has eye problems going by those lenses. Good day to you, sir.
Captain Malatesta, Commander-in-Chief of the Barkstadt Border Post, at your service, madam.
My name is Kate Walker. I've been assigned by my company to find a man who is supposed to be living in Syberia.
What a peculiar mission. Taking so many risks for such a futile goal.
Captain, to my mind, the military zeal with which you insist on guarding this meaningless wall strikes me as equally futile.
I should be offended by your words, miss, but I forgive you, because you are young and unaware of the very real dangers lurking in store for us.
I need a visa to cross the wall and to continue my journey to the east. They told me that you are the only person in a position to issue such a visa.
Indeed, this responsibility is part of my duties. However, I am not currently issuing visas because nobody must venture beyond the wall.
And why not?
It's far too dangerous, in particular for a lady of your standing who is traveling unescorted.
Dangerous? What exactly do you mean, Captain?
The enemy, miss. The enemy. I've been observing them for several years through my telescope. There's one particular horseman stationed yonder. He's a scout from the invading enemy army, and he's been spying on us. So I have to be extremely vigilant. He knows that I know he's there, you understand? And as long as I keep my eye on him, he won't dare try anything.
Are you sure?
Please, take a look for yourself.
Is the person who takes care of the gate anywhere around?
There is no person who takes care of the gate. Believe you me, ma'am. I have been the one and only guardian of this gate since 1968. That year, I took over the position from the late Lieutenant Colonel Malatesta, my own father.
In that case, can you tell me how the mechanism works? It sure looks
Not at all. It is child's play for anyone who takes the time to work out its surprisingly straightforward logic. And from the looks of your locomotive, it shouldn't pose you any problem.
Why do you say that?
When I caught sight of your formidable locomotive, I immediately said, heavens. Only Hans Vorarlberg could design such an engine. And I know what I'm talking about, ma'am, because he invented the gate's original mechanism. It was his last creation here in Barkstadt.
So you know Hans Vorarlberg?
No, I mean, not personally. I was only a baby when he stayed in Barkstadt. My father spoke often of him, and I knew about his inventions. He left very many things behind him.
I know.
In any case, I noticed that his fantastic knack for inventing has not deteriorated with age. How's he doing?
I don't know. In fact, I don't actually know him. I'm searching for him. An inheritance matter. I hope his train is going to lead me to him.
And why not? His inventions are always...
Between the station aviary and this bleak wall, the change in atmosphere is radical, don't you think?
It's been a long time since I've been at liberty to judge, miss. My duties forbid me from abandoning my post.
Don't mind me if I retire, Captain.
Please, madam, my respects.
Good day to you, sir. How strange. I can't see a Cossack horseman at all. There's just a dead tree in the middle of an empty plain. That poor captain must have really bad eyesight. Look. I don't need to do that again. Colonel, sir.
Captain, miss.
But you have the air of a great officer.
You flatter me, miss. Unfortunately, I'm afraid that we frontier soldiers are often forgotten by the military administration.
There's no justice. I sympathize with you, Captain. Let us forget our worries for a moment and have a little drink together in the name of friendship.
It would be my pleasure, miss, but the regulations strictly forbid it.
Come on. A little glass of wine never hurt anybody, and nobody need know.
Wine, miss? You are putting me in a very delicate situation.
Don't deny yourself, Captain. Just a little glass. I assure you, it is excellent.
Well, perhaps just a drop.
Here's your glass. To your good health, Captain.
And to yours, miss. It's been a long time since I've drunk wine in such pleasant company. I admit, it is excellent.
Isn't it? You wouldn't think it came from Barrickstadt. It is made from the Amazon forest Sauvignon grape that has been miraculously conserved and cultivated in the station garden.
Well, well, well. The university authorities kept that one to themselves.
You know, Captain, it is essential that I continue my journey eastwards.
Please, don't even think about it. As I've said, it's extremely dangerous. The enemy is spying on us.
Perhaps your Cossack horseman isn't quite what you thought. Perhaps it's just a dead tree twisted into a strange shape. You should take another look. You never know. Go on, Captain. Give it a try.
No need. A dead tree. That is preposterous. It is the enemy at our gates, miss. There is no doubt about it. But don't you worry. I am here at my post to watch over us.
It's not the enemy that worries me. It's your eyesight. I saw a pair of broken glasses in your office. Maybe that explains why you see a horseman where there is only a dead tree.
What are you insinuating, miss? My sight is perfect. I refuse to let you sully my reputation.
Please, Captain, don't be angry.
Miss, this discussion is now over.
I need a
Indeed. This responsibility, a lady of your standing who is...
Captain, I can assure you that your enemy horseman is in fact simply a dead tree.
A tree? But that's totally ridiculous. I can tell you have never seen a Cossack before in your life.
How long has this Cossack been spying on your wall?
For a long time. Yes, a very long time. But they could attack at any moment. We simply cannot tell.
And he's been in the same position the whole time?
Cossacks are soldiers, miss. They're capable of great resistance and persistence in the face of adversity.
No point. Colonel, sir.
It's been a long...
Horseman.
So be it. I will make this concession to the fairer sex, miss. But it does seem to be quite ridiculous. Incredible. How is this possible? By what strange magic? How could I have been so wrong for so long? The enemy was only a tree. I'm so ashamed.
It's not that bad, Captain. It's only human to make mistakes after all.
A tree. Nothing but a dead tree.
Pull yourself together, Captain. It's okay. And now I suppose there's nothing stopping you from issuing me a visa?
Yes, of course. There is no more danger. All these years. And now the Cossack has gone. There is nothing left to watch.
Captain, you should be delighted. From now on, you don't have to stay pinned to your watchtower. Travel can start up again normally. You will be able to resume your regular duties like issuing entrance and exit visas.
You are right. I will sign you a visa to cross the wall frontier immediately. 1,000 apologies. Here, miss.
Thank you, Captain. And keep your eyes open.
Miss, if we could keep this between ourselves, please. For the sake of my honor, you understand?
You have my promise, Captain.
Your request is refused, Kate Walker.
Here is the visa. I hope it's regulation, my dear Oscar.
It is regulation. Here is your ticket. Have a good journey, Kate Walker.
So, can we go now?
Indeed. We are already very late, Kate Walker.
Here you go, Oscar.
Thank you, Kate Walker. Now, please return to your seat, Kate Walker.
Yes, Oscar. Immediately, Oscar.
Kate Walker! Kate Walker!
Oscar, what's going on? Why has the train stopped? Where are we?
The springs of the train are unwound again, Kate Walker. As for the question pertaining to our geographical location, I really haven't the slightest idea.
Well, we'd better get looking for a winding machine, my dear Oscar. I hope that this place actually has one.
The air here is so polluted that I could not possibly risk leaving the locomotive. My joints might corrode irreparably.
Right. Let's see. Gosh, it's really gloomy here. I wonder where on earth I'm going to find a winding machine.
I have total confidence in you, Kate Walker. You are, after all...
Yeah, right. Oscar, you couldn't make a little effort for just this once. If we both went looking for the winding machine, the two of us together might find it quicker.
You are in all probability correct, Kate Walker. But the high level of heavy metal miasma that pollutes the atmosphere could cause havoc to my wheelwork.
See you soon, Oscar.
I shall stay right here.
If that's going to work, it looks like something's missing. That door is locked. I've got to find another way around.
My dear brother, what joy to have news of you after your long silence during the war years. So you're working for the Russians now. I tell you, we've been hearing some worrying stories about them here. Just your description of that dingy factory makes me cough. But it's so good to hear that your talent is being recognized for its true value, and that your automaton creations are taking the place of workers for all those menial jobs. I'm so proud that Vorarlberg automatons are making such a contribution, even if it is small, to the improvement of people's lives.
Meanwhile, back in Valladolid, we've been licking our wounds after the war years. Some people have returned, others not. Life is slowly coming back, but it's taking time. All my love, Anna.
Hello? Hello?
Kate, it's Dan. Can you hear me?
Dan, is that you? I can't hear you so good. Dan?
Hey, Kate, let's talk. It's about the last conversation. Are you still mad at me? Come on, it's important.
Dan, you're breaking up. I'll try and call you when I get out of this mine.
You're Kate, come on, what's happening? Listen, we've got to talk.
Look, the line's just getting worse and worse. I'm hanging up. I don't need to do... If that's going to work, it looks like something's missing. That looks like a ventilation duct. It's too dark to continue. I might lose my way. If that... can't go that way. Hey, you there! That door is locked. I've got to find... Yes?
Kate, can you hear me this time?
Yes, I can hear you just perfectly, Dan, but I can't talk to you now. I'm in a real hurry.
I wanted to say sorry. I know I wasn't very understanding last time. I've been feeling a bit bad about it.
Okay, you're a real sweetheart, but I've got to leave you now. I'm not angry with you, so don't worry. I've just got to catch up to someone, and quick.
But Kate, this is really important.
I'll call you back, Dan. I'm sorry. My God, Oscar! Oscar, talk to me! Are you okay?
Why, it is absolutely inadmissible, intolerable, and indescribable. I have been attacked.
What do you mean you've been attacked?
My hands! I no longer have them! They have been stolen!
My God, you haven't got your hands! But who did this? What's going on here?
We can be sure of one thing, Kate Walker. That this heinous crime was committed by a barbarian. A dysfunctional individual whose behavior lacks all finesse.
Did you get a look at your attacker? Tell me exactly how it happened.
I was standing here polishing up my metalwork. I was just thinking that with all the dust in the air, it would be a good idea to...
Oscar!
I was very busy, and I suddenly felt two powerful arms grab me from behind and tie me up before I had the chance to defend myself. I wanted to call out, but my attacker gagged me before I could emit the slightest sound. Then he dismantled my hands with a terrifying pair of pliers. It was horrible.
I can believe it, my poor Oscar, but did you see him?
He was a real barbarian, I tell you. He had bloodshot eyes, steel teeth, and brown scaly skin, and he emitted foul odors. He was a monster, Kate Walker, a real monster, and he had a weapon.
Oscar, please calm down. Everything's going to be all right. Right, Oscar? Let's go find this hand bandit. And this time we're not going to be such a pushover.
Kate Walker, please do not think that this problem does not concern me. But if it's all the same to you, I would so much prefer to stay here, just to be on the safe side. An engineer never abandons his train, after all.
Yeah, sure. Another good reason not to lend a... not to help me out.
Kate Walker, even an automaton deserves a little compassion. I have just been savagely assaulted. Oh, I can feel one of my spasms coming on. I am on the verge of a clockwork breakdown. And all you do is accuse me of being selfish.
Okay, take a rest, Oscar. You're not much use without your hands anyway. Right.
Good luck, Kate.
No point... can't go that way. I don't want to touch it, in case I break it. I don't need to... That door is locked. Hey, you! Who are you? Careful, I'm warning you. I'm not afraid of you, okay? What do you want? Why did you do that?
There must be some misunderstanding.
Because you reckon theft is all about misunderstanding, do you? Give me my hands back. Now!
Your hands? And what are those on the ends of your arms? I can explain everything to you. You see, I'm no thief.
You broke into my train, assaulted my driver, mutilated him, and stole his hands. Apart from that, you are not a thief.
I have not stolen them, miss. Only borrowed them for a while.
You've got to be joking.
I'm not joking with you, miss. I would never take such liberties.
They belong to Oscar, my automaton engineer. Why did you steal them?
They are extraordinary. Real mechanical wonders. I would never have been capable of designing such hands myself. Never. Such workmanship. Such precision crafting. It is incredible. Absolutely incredible.
And just because you like them, you decided to steal them?
I have only borrowed them, little missy. Temporarily, you understand? Of course, I shall return them to you when I don't need them anymore. You can...
Excuse me?
You see, these hands are all I need to complete my plan. At last, I can finish off my automaton pianist and fulfill my dreams. Everything is now in place. You see, I have converted this old, useless, stupid factory into a magical theatre. As you can see, the furnaces, piping, chimney stacks, they've all been converted into one gigantic organ. I will be able to accompany the world's greatest living singer. Now all I need is her...
Who are you?
Sergei Borodin, the director of the industrial city of Komkoltsgrad, or what is left of it at least. But who are you, for that matter, and why have you stopped in my station without authorization?
I didn't choose to stop in your station, but my train has a technical problem. My name is Kate Walker, and I'm an American lawyer.
It is very kind of you to come so far just to visit this place.
I repeat again, I never intended to stop here. I'm on a business trip. I'm a lawyer, goddammit.
Right. And what brings you here?
Like I said, a stupid mechanical hitch. I'm sorry, I can't make heads or tails out of your story at all. Without my engineer's hands, I'm stuck here, you see?
Everything I have designed, all that I have invented, everything is for her. Do you realize? Her. Oh, to hear her sing one more time here in my factory.
But who is she? Who are you talking about?
Helena. The one and only Helena Romansky. Her voice is so pure, like an angel. One day she came here to Komkolsgrad. She sang here, you know, when our industrial city was in its heyday. Oh, so long ago now. It was almost unreal. It was magical. I remember it like it was yesterday. Then, later, a long time later, she saved my soul. She saved my life and gave it meaning. When I was told that the mining program was to be abandoned, that this industrial city was consigned to oblivion, that I, its director, would from then on be nothing but a guardian of these rusting remains of a bygone age, that is when I first formed my plan to bring Helena Romansky back to this factory. But this time, she would sing for me, and me alone.
And is she okay about this?
Sure. Once she finds out that I have done all this for her, when she realizes how I converted this vast network of pipes and tubes to create one of the most impressive organs ever made, then, you know, this was no small achievement, miss. Once molten iron flowed through here. Now there wafts only beautiful melodies. But then I realized I had to make an automaton pianist. I began to despair that I would never create hands that were intricate enough. But then you arrived. So lucky, don't you think?
Yeah, that must have been a happy coincidence for someone around here. So, when will this Madame Romansky come back? When do I get my hands back?
I don't know. Maybe someone should look for her. Tell her. Hey, why don't you go? The quicker you bring her back, the sooner you can carry on your business trip. Now, isn't that a good idea?
And you promise that once Helena has sung, you will give me back my automaton's hands?
I promise, my dear. You have my solemn word.
Well, I guess I'm going to have to believe you. Where should I go hunting for this singer, then?
I have no idea. But for a woman of the world like yourself, finding her should pose no obstacle. Helena Romansky was a world celebrity, you know. I have collected many objects, souvenirs of her that I keep in a room. A shrine to her glory. It's like her own personal museum in a way. You should take a look.
This whole story is completely nuts. And what if I helped you to make some other hands just for your automaton?
Why should life be complicated when I already have what I need? And I very much doubt you are in any position to create such a perfect pair of hands.
You mentioned an automaton pianist, didn't you? Where did you find it?
I pieced it together myself, my dear. Except for the hands, that is. I admit that I underestimated the intricacy of this part of the design. A pianist's hands are very important, after all. But enough. Now he has a perfect set of hands.
Your passion amazes me. Have you designed any other automatons here?
No. Clockwork mechanisms do not interest me as such. I simply needed a robot capable of accompanying Helena Romansky on my huge organ. I adapted an existing model, a reject automaton secretary. I reconstructed it and adapted it to this new function.
An existing model, you say? Did you ever know Hans Vorarlberg? He was a kind of mechanical genius, like yourself.
Hans Vorarlberg? Yes. Or maybe... I don't know. No.
Sure, I understand. The number of automatons still functioning in this abandoned complex is amazing, though.
My dear, one thing is for sure. For many years, I have been totally alone here. If that man ever came to this city, he left long, long ago.
When you stepped on the train, you were trespassing on private property.
Everything in this city, sweet lady, belongs to the state. And to all intents and purposes, the state in this city is me.
My train is not a part of this factory. And besides, we never would have stopped here in the first place if it's...
Well, as long as your train is at this station, it may be requisitioned and used for industrial purposes.
Out of the question. And I forbid you to do so.
Maybe I won't have to. Perhaps we can maybe come to some kind of agreement, my sweet lady.
I hope so. And fast. Please excuse me. I have to go now.
So be it.
It seems this monorail is controlled from somewhere else. Listen, obviously all this has been just one big misunderstanding. So you're going to give me Oscar's hands back, and we are going to get out of your city immediately.
Out of the question. I must have these hands. That is all. I have...
And what if I... Please, How are you, Oscar?
Apart from the fact that I am incapable of drinking a cup of tea, of reading the paper, of scratching my nose, or even of adjusting my spectacles, everything is fine. Thank you for asking, Kate Walker.
Oscar, we can only carry on our journey by train if we get your hands back. And the only way to get your hands back is to accept the director's offer.
You mean bring back this singer Helena Romansky? Oh dear. And what else will we need to do to get the hands back?
Always ready with the precise euphemism. If it puts your mind at rest, Oscar, I absolutely do not need your help this time. Just take care of yourself while I'm away.
That's a request I'm happy to obey, Kate Walker.
This whole business is taking me out of my way. I'm beginning to wonder if I shouldn't just go back to New York and say that Hans Vorarlberg is dead.
Hans Vorarlberg dead? Do you have some new information you have not shared with me?
No, it was just a convenient hypothesis.
Kate Walker, you mean you are ready to lie? I am deeply shocked. I thought that you were a sincere and honest person.
Do you ever have a moment's weakness, Oscar?
Never, Kate Walker. Discouragement does not feature in my behavior options.
You're right, Oscar. We will find Hans and find him alive. That much I do believe.
That's much more like it, Kate Walker.
Take a note, Oscar. Not breaking down in this hellhole? Good idea.
How many times must I inform you, Kate Walker? This is not a mechanical failure. Winding the spring mechanism is standard service procedure.
Always ready with the precise euphemism.
An engineer also prides himself on precision in such matters.
Right.
Good luck.
You have reached Mawson and Lawmont Associates. We're sorry, but...
Dan Foster isn't around to take your...
You have reached a...
Please,
So...
Hi, Mom?
Kate! What? Have you seen the time? Why are you phoning me in the middle of the night?
Sorry, Mom. I forgot about the time zones. Did I wake you?
Well, of course you woke me up. I was sleeping deeply, too. I simply got to get my beauty sleep. I've got an absolutely crazy day tomorrow.
I'm sorry. It's just that it's real important and urgent. I haven't got a lot of time.
Well, if it really can't wait till tomorrow, Munchkin, come on, tell your mommy what's up. No way I'm calling Dan for you if that's what you want.
Mom, listen, please. I seem to remember you're seeing Marovich or something like that at the moment.
No. Malkovich, Munchkin. Frank Malkovich.
Yeah, right. So, but he's an opera singer, right?
That's right. They say he had the finest voice of his time, my dear. Imagine that.
That's just great. So then he must have known a famous singer called Helena Romansky. She's Russian, too. Please, if you can ask him if...
Listen, honey, if it's stars you're after, Frank knows them all. I'll just wake him up and let him tell you himself.
You mean he's...
Do you know this woman named... Oh, you do? Oh, Kate, listen, you're still there. Frank tells me he did hang out with a Romansky once, but it was platonic. You know those singers. She's a great soprano.
Great. Does he know where she went? Does she still sing? Where does she live?
1 second, Munchkin. Do you know? Frank says she was very ill and she withdrew from circulation. Really? Oh, what is... Oh, okay. She went to rest in some spa somewhere. He thinks it was called Arlbad, but it was 15 years ago and he's not sure. And, well, honey, when Frank wakes up, he always takes a little bit of time to get going, you know.
Thanks a bundle, Mom. And Frank, too. You're both fantastic. Love you both. Thanks again. Catch you later. Hello?
Did I wake you up? I can't sleep at all. This whole business just keeps turning round and round in my head.
What business, Dan?
But Kate, that argument we had, have you forgotten? I really need to talk about that again.
Oh, I guess we were both a little high-strung, that's all. But don't sweat it, okay?
Yeah, sure. Getting carried away never solves anything, does it? I must say I felt really dumb when I hung up.
Really?
Yeah, I left the door to my office open and I was convinced everybody around heard me.
I'm so embarrassed, Dan. Please say I'm sorry to your colleagues from me.
It doesn't matter, honey. Promise me that you will never put me in that state again. You're usually so delightful. I have the impression that this journey is putting more than distance between us.
Well, it's true I'm living a whole load of new and amazing experiences.
Okay, I see. And still no hand swirl bird?
No.
Keep me posted. You know how important you are to me. Hurry home, huh?
I'll try. Big hug, Dan. Director.
Ah, it is you, Miss Walker.
Director, I think I know where Helena Romansky is.
My God, you have found Helena? That is fantastic.
From my research, Helena Romansky is living in Arelbad.
Arelbad? Helena Romansky is in Arelbad.
You know the town, then? You know where it is?
Of course. It was a famous spa resort. In its heyday, Arelbad welcomed all the big wigs of the regime. To be granted a stay there was a real honor. Today, the honor has gone, along with all the generals and colonels, all washed away with the sea.
It sounds like a good place if you need to take it easy or convalesce.
I think Madame Romansky would be happier here. I think she'll prefer the peace and quiet here, the perfect tranquility of our little town.
How can I get to Arelbad?
There is one way that you can. Here in the city, there are no suitable vehicles left. But that drunk old fool living up there, he'll have something.
What drunken old fool? You mean you're not alone? What's up there?
You mean you haven't noticed the space compound on the plateau? There's still some pathetic old soldier guarding it. But he's more interested these days in reaching for another bottle than reaching for the stars.
And you think this gentleman could have a vehicle for me?
I haven't the slightest idea. If you catch him on a good day, then maybe. But good days for him are far and few between. I wish you luck.
How do I get up to the space compound, then?
There is a monorail that leads up to the Cosmodrome. When you are inside, I will activate the automatic pilot.
Why don't you come with me? After all, you're the person in the best position to convince him.
Unfortunately, since my accident, I seldom leave my office if I can avoid it. And it is not wise for a director to leave his city now, is it?
Okay, I'm going. Wish me luck.
I am counting on you, Miss Walker.
Hello?
Kate! Oh, that you? How are you?
Olivia, great, just the right person. Look, have you heard of Helena Romansky?
No. Is she some Russian fashion designer?
No, she's a singer. I'm going to be meeting her soon. I've just got to find a way of reaching Arelbad. Can you imagine how lucky I am?
Not really. Well, what relation's this singer got with the toy case? You sure you know what you're up to, Kate? You sound really different, like you're changing or something.
Look, it's like this. If I'm going to get to the end of my journey, I've got to link up this singer and the director of the Komkalsgrad Industrial City. Don't worry, I know exactly what I'm doing. Why did you say that I've changed?
I don't know, just an impression. You sound more sure of yourself, like stronger, more confident.
And that's a problem?
There you go. Just takes one word and you're up on your high horse. I'm beginning to see Dan's point of view. It's getting harder and harder to back you up all the time.
What does that mean?
Well, it means that I had a drink or two with Dan, because he wants to talk. He feels a bit lonely, you see?
And what's he been telling you?
Nothing. He just has the impression you're slipping away from him. He can't see where you're coming from anymore. Like, we went to the movies the other day, and he said that you would have loved the film, but I told him that...
You mean you're dating my fiancé?
No! No, not dating, Kate. Just propping him up while you're away. All in a good cause. I can keep an eye on him for you at the same time.
What would I do without you?
Oh, you're jealous. Well, that's a good sign. That means you want him. Now, that he'll be pleased to hear.
You seeing each other again soon?
Tomorrow night. He invited me to dinner at the Goldberg. You don't mind, do you, Kate?
No worries. Look, I've got to go, Olivia. Take care. I need a key. I need a key. Oh, this thing's jammed. I need a key. Excuse me, sir. Sorry to disturb you, but yoo-hoo. Can you hear me?
3, 2, 1, contact! And we have liftoff! Oh, holy mother. A dame. A pretty dame on the launch pad.
Please, no need to worry, sir. Just do stay calm. I just want some information.
Watch what you're doing, sweetheart. We ain't got no information, no strategies, no plans to tell anyone, anywhere, anytime. Military regulations, you dig it, man?
My name's Kate Walker. I'm a lawyer from... I'm a bit lost. And I guess you know this place.
Boris Charov, at your service, madam. Can I offer you something from the bar?
No, thank you. Tell me, how long have you been here?
For as long as it took for you to come along, sweet pea. Don't think I've been lonely. I got a bottle or two here. Keep me company?
You're a soldier, aren't you? Ex-cosmonaut?
Hey, honey, that's all in the past. Hell, let's talk about today. Let's have a drink. That's an order, soldier.
Please, can you try and get a grip? I must absolutely find a way out of this industrial complex.
Jeez, me too. I've really got to get out of this dump, but not before I've had a little drink. Here, get your pretty little lips around this. Vodka. Tell me what you think.
Do you have a vehicle to lend me? I think I'd even test one of your rockets right now if I had to.
Dose my rockets. Hey, pretty dame, I'll drink to that. Now, just a minute. We gotta need a special bottle for this special occasion. Something to blow you away. 3, 2, 1, contact, and we have liftoff!
Okay, that's enough.
What was that? Did you say something? Are female comrades revolting or what? Uh-oh, trouble on its way. Bottoms up! Power to the babushkas!
I heard that maybe you could lend me a vehicle or something?
A vehicle? All our vehicles were picked up and shipped out to the borders years ago. General's orders. I say, let us raise our glass to this finest soldier this country's ever known, little lady.
I don't mean to offend you, but I'm not in the mood for a drink right now.
And you'll live to regret it to your dying days, sweetheart. To your health, while you have it.
I need to get to Arrowbad, and quick.
You go ahead, soldier. I'll stay here and keep you covered. I got the supplies here. Got to keep an eye on them. Tricky job, too, you know. All these bottles.
While I was walking around here, I noticed a very impressive airship. It's kind of strange to find such a ship in the middle of all these rockets. Does it still work? What do you use it for?
That airship used to take us all the way to the Arrowbad beaches. And now we're grounded. For good. Mama used to say to me, son, aim for the stars and you might hit the moon. So I aimed for the stars, but all I hit was the bottle.
Nothing around here works? Everything's broken?
Well, of course not. Everything works perfectly. I may be an old Cossack alcoholic, but I ain't mad, and I do my duty. To your very good health.
Thank you. Does the name Hans Vorarlberg mean anything to you?
Karsberg. Of course I know that name. But sorry.
Vorarlberg. He's a person. I'm looking for him.
Well, in that case, let us raise our glasses.
I came here by train, but I've got this mechanical problem. I had to leave the train down in the industrial zone. The director down there took...
Ah, Borodine, that dumb traitor. I tell you, he's gone over to the enemy, over to the dark side. It's terrifying, the darkness. Eating out his brain. The jerk.
That's maybe going a bit far. He is a little eccentric, I'll grant you that. But when you live on your own, cut off from the world for so...
His brain's gone AWOL, I tell you. There's no darkness in my brain. I've got a cure. See? My secret antidote. Go on, have some. It'll stop you getting a cold.
I don't think I'm in a high-risk category, but thanks anyway. So many birds nesting around here. What attracts them all here like that?
Dumb birds. But at least a bird don't get bored, does it? See? They can fly. Them birds, geez, they can fly.
Sounds like you're jealous of them.
Well, maybe you're just right there. 'Cause sometimes I like to let Soyuz loose and watch them circle for hours on ends. The birds, they crap themselves when they see him coming. Don't stop them coming back, though.
Soyuz?
Soyuz, ma'am. A silver angel. A savior who cleans our cosmodrome of them dirty rats with dirty wings.
So many... I was going to... Forget it, it doesn't matter. He's too drunk to help anyone anyway.
I am not drunk. I have drunk. A little. Strange. Sure, I left a bottle or two around here. I gotta get some air. Wall's getting pretty tight. We'll think about that blast off later, huh?
Are you okay, Colonel? Are you sure you're all right? Be careful! Don't lean out too far or you'll...
What's happening? Let's water you got there. Stop it! Now! You want me to drown?
Calm down, it's all right. Just a little wake-up call, that's all. You must have had quite a bit to drink.
Gee, you right there. Not the first time either. Probably won't be the last. Man, my head. Please, could you whisper?
Please, do excuse me. But it was the only way I could think of to bring you...
A little extreme, maybe. But I get the impression you're a lady who likes to see results.
I came here by train, but unfortunately it broke down. I've got to get to Arrowbad immediately. Someone told me you might have a vehicle to lend me.
Someone? Who might that someone be? I hope you're not talking about Sergei Borodin.
Well, yes, I am. The director of the industrial complex below.
Be careful, ma'am. He is not a rational man. He can be mean and very dangerous.
He suggested I come and see you, actually. But I get the impression that he doesn't care much for you either.
I don't care what he thinks of me. All I say to you is, watch out for him.
My name is Kate Walker. I'm a lawyer currently in charge of a special case. I'll spare you the details, but I've landed here, you see, unintentionally.
It is indeed an honor to welcome you here to the Cosmodrome, ma'am. My name is Colonel Boris Sharoff. I'm a Red Army test pilot reject. Now I babysit the Komkalsgrad space complex.
This is an amazing complex. Shame it's a little run down.
What do you expect? Space race is yesterday's news. That's the way it is. News 1 minute, history the next.
There aren't many vehicles on this base.
When they decided to close the Cosmodrome, they towed all the useful equipment away.
It doesn't matter. I'll find some other way.
If I can help you, please, just ask.
Don't you find it strange to see so many birds in the Cosmodrome?
It's the iron rafters. They love them. Nowadays, they can enjoy a bit of good old peace and quiet here. So, of course, they turn up in flockloads. Sometimes I set Soyuz onto them. Just like the good old days.
Soyuz?
Soyuz is the last Golden Eagle left in active service. We had to get the dumb canaries out of the way before takeoff, so what did we do? Set the Eagle on them. And you should see them fly. Soyuz, he's like a cat among the pigeons. Magnificent.
Does Arrowbad mean anything to you?
Arrowbad. It's been a long time since I heard that name. It's a spa resort, ma'am. Top brass of the regime would go there. As well as convalescing soldiers, tired politicians, profiteers and racketers, the whole caboodle. They'd go live it up, all expenses paid. One privilege I never got. Just 2 steps away from becoming the nation's hero, and no free holiday for me.
And where exactly is this place?
Further east. We never had to know where exactly. The airship was programmed to take vacationers there. From here.
Do you think the airship still works?
No idea. It has been so long since it was used.
And then I've got to learn how to use it, too.
You won't have any worries there. It has an automatic pilot. Go visit if you want. Here's the key.
Thanks. Thank you so much for helping me. I'm sorry to have woken you up like...
It's been great talking to you, ma'am. I think I'll take 40 wings right now.
Doesn't look like that works. Doesn't look like that worked. There you are. I was looking for you. I've managed to trigger the autopilot mechanism, but the airship still won't take off. Do you know why?
Maybe. I've got some idea. But you look like you're a pretty good mechanic.
Let's just say that since the start of the journey, I've managed to get by and get to know Hans Varlberg's strange contraptions.
Okay. I have a deal to make with you. I've been living in this dumb launcher site for years. And I've always said that one of these days I'm going to the stars on that flying wing. And I better make that trip before vodka stews my brain. But I gotta know how it works. And you look like you might have some clue at least. If you could help me get to the stars, I'll tell you how the airship works. What do you say? We got a deal?
Why not? I'll see what I can do for you.
What are you tinkering with? Why is it taking so long?
Just a bit longer, if you can.
I'm sorry, I just couldn't wait. Put yourself in my shoes. I've been dreaming of this moment for so long.
Comrade Boris, I need a few drops of your blood.
Excuse me?
To get the centrifuge going, we'll need to analyze the pilot's blood. If you're going to the stars, you've got to be in good health, you see? That's why I need a blood sample. It won't hurt.
There's two things a good soldier is always ready to do. Drop his pants and spill his blood. Go ahead.
I'll only be needing your blood.
My pleasure, ma'am. Ow! What do you think?
Just...